After my boyfriend moved in, I started finding earrings, wine glasses, and perfume I never bought. He said, "You're overthinking again." One night, I installed a camera. What I saw at 2 a.m. shattered me. I waited until their next sleepover and blasted the footage on our TV. She screamed. He begged. I just said, "You chose her. Now live with her." Then I opened the door for her husband, who was holding their wedding photo, and I live in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm 34. I've got a good job in healthcare management, own a small 2-bedroom condo just outside downtown, and for the most part, I've been careful with who I let into my life. Then I met Jason. He was charming, soft-spoken, and seemed like one of those guys who actually listened when you talked. We met at a wine tasting event that a friend dragged me to. I wasn't expecting anything, but he made me laugh. He asked for my number. And over the next year, things moved slow but steady. After a year and a half of dating, he asked if he could move in with me. His lease was ending, and we were already spending most nights together. It felt like the right step. So I said yes. At first, it was good. He cooked sometimes, helped with the laundry, brought flowers home every now and then. I started thinking about long-term things. I'm not talking about weddings or anything, but I definitely thought we were building something real. Then the weird stuff started. The first time was a wine glass in the sink. It wasn't mine. We only had a set of 4, and I always washed them the same night. This one was different, one of those stemless types I'd never buy. I asked him about it. He said he bought a cheap set from the store because he broke one of mine. I didn't remember anything breaking, but I let it go. Then it was a pair of earrings on the nightstand. I don't wear gold hoops. These were medium-sized, and they looked expensive. I don't buy jewelry like that. I picked them up and asked him, "These yours?" jokingly. He looked confused, then laughed and said maybe they were mine from a long time ago. Said I was always losing things. That was weird, because I'm not. Next, I started smelling this strong perfume in the bathroom. Flowery. Not mine. I wear something light and citrusy, nothing heavy. When I brought it up, he told me I was being paranoid. That maybe it was a coworker's perfume rubbing off on him. Then came the last straw. I found a bra shoved way back under the couch cushion. I don't know why I was vacuuming under there. I never do. But something told me to. I held it in my hand like it was a dead mouse. I didn't know what to say. That night, I didn't confront him. I just smiled like everything was fine. But I went online, bought a tiny camera off Amazon, and hid it behind a stack of books on the shelf facing the living room. It had night vision. It was motion-triggered. I told myself I was crazy. I told myself I wouldn't find anything. Then the camera caught something. At 2:06 a.m., 2 nights after I set it up, Jason walked in through the front door. He wasn't alone. She was tall. Brunette. Long legs. Wearing one of my shirts. At first, I didn't recognize her. But then she turned toward the bookshelf to look at something. It was Lisa. My friend. My coworker. We had lunch once a week. She came to my birthday dinner. We'd cried over breakups together. She'd been in my house dozens of times. They laughed. Opened a bottle of wine. The cheap kind Jason always bought when I wasn't around. They kissed. Like they'd done it 100 times before. She sat on his lap. They talked. They whispered. And then they disappeared into my bedroom. My bedroom. I didn't cry right away. I just sat there. Frozen. Watching the footage loop on my laptop. The timestamp flashing like a countdown to the end of my life as I knew it. I needed a plan. Not screaming. Not throwing his stuff out. Something worse. Something he'd never forget. So I waited. And the next time she came over, I was ready. So here's what I did. I told Jason I wanted to have a chill Friday night, no going out, just pizza, wine, and movies. He agreed, like nothing was wrong. Like he wasn't cheating on me with one of the people I trusted most. Then I texted Lisa earlier that week. Hey, I said. Can you swing by Friday? I need your advice on something important. It's kinda personal. She replied within 5 minutes. Of course. What time? She didn't even flinch. Didn't hesitate. That made it worse. Friday came. I set everything up. I put the wine on the counter. Made it look like a regular night. I made sure they both knew to be there at the same time. And they showed up, just like I planned, Jason in his stupid fleece pullover, Lisa with her fake smile and that same damn floral perfume. We sat down in the living room. Jason put on Netflix. I let it play for a few minutes. Then I hit input on the remote. Switched the screen. It jumped to the camera footage. The living room. The timestamp. The two of them walking in. Kissing. Lisa dropped her glass. Jason shot up from the couch. What the hell is this? He yelled. I didn't move. I didn't speak. I just stared at them while the video kept playing. Lisa backed up against the wall, hands over her mouth. Her eyes filled with tears fast. Jason turned to me. I can explain. Please, just listen to me. I finally stood up. No. You don't get to talk. You chose her. Now live with her. Lisa tried to say something, but before she could, there was a knock on the door. I opened it. And there stood Tom. Lisa's husband. My friend. Her real partner. He walked in holding their wedding photo. I had texted him the footage the night before, after a long, painful call. He hadn't responded. I wasn't sure he'd show. But here he was. He looked right at Lisa and said, "You wore that shirt on our honeymoon." Then he dropped the photo on the floor. The glass shattered. Nobody spoke. Lisa looked like she might faint. Jason tried to put a hand on my arm. I stepped back. No. You need to leave. Both of you. They hesitated like they were still trying to figure out if it was real. If this was really happening. Then Tom said, "You hurt her." Jason walked out first. Lisa followed him, sobbing. Tom and I stood there in silence. He turned to me after a moment and said, "I didn't know who to be more angry at. Her, or myself." I nodded. I know the feeling. He left without another word. But that wasn't the end. The fallout came fast. Monday at work, Lisa didn't show up. She didn't show up Tuesday either. By Wednesday, HR told us she had taken personal leave. I didn't care. Jason tried to call me from a new number. I blocked him. Then he sent emails. I saved them. Then I deleted them. But 1 week later, something happened that changed everything again. I found out Lisa wasn't just cheating on Tom. She was pregnant. And she claimed it was Jason's. The moment I heard about the pregnancy, I thought it was just a rumor. One of our coworkers, Dana, pulled me aside in the break room with a look on her face like she was about to spill poison. "Did you hear?" she whispered. "Lisa's pregnant." I blinked at her. "What?" Dana nodded slowly. 6 weeks along. That's what I heard. She told HR. I did the math in my head. 6 weeks back, yeah. That lined up with when I caught them on camera. My stomach turned. She said it's Jason's, Dana added, her voice even lower now. She's not hiding it. I didn't say anything. I just walked out of the break room. I wasn't sad. I wasn't even angry. I was something colder. I went back to my office, closed the door, and sat in my chair. Then I opened my email, searched Jason's name, and read the last message he sent. Please, just give me a chance to talk. I made a mistake, but I never stopped loving you. I was stupid. I thought I could fix it before it got out of hand. Please. I need to explain. Explain what? That he got my friend pregnant in my home? In my bed? But here's where it gets worse. The next day, Tom showed up outside my condo. He didn't say much at first. Just stood there holding a manila folder. His eyes were tired. She lied to me about the baby, he said. What do you mean? She told me it was mine. Said she wanted to fix things between us. But I got suspicious. Got a paternity test without telling her. He handed me the folder. Inside was the lab result. Probability of paternity, 0%. Tom clenched his jaw. She played both of us. And then he told me something else. She's not just pregnant with Jason's kid. She's planning to move in with him. I laughed. Not because it was funny, because I had no words left. Lisa had the nerve to destroy 2 relationships and still chase some happily ever after with the guy who couldn't even keep a wine glass secret. Tom didn't leave right away. We talked for a while. About how long they'd been sneaking around. About how he'd known something was off for months but couldn't prove it. About the night she said she was with me, when she was really with Jason. And then he said this, we could let them have each other. Or we could make sure they really feel what they did to us. I looked at him. And in that moment, I realized I wasn't done yet. Tom and I didn't speak for a few days after that. I needed time to think. But his words kept circling in my mind, make sure they really feel it. So I came up with a plan. It wasn't loud. It wasn't violent. It was quiet. Sharp. The kind of thing that would leave a mark and keep burning long after we walked away. The first step was easy. Tom and I went through old emails and messages, every text, every photo, every time-stamped call or FaceTime Lisa and Jason ever made. We cross-referenced it all. I still had the footage. Tom had GPS records from their shared phone plan. He had receipts. Literal ones, from restaurants they claimed they never went to. Hotel bookings under fake names. Credit card charges that Lisa had told him were work dinners. We printed everything out. Organized it into a neat little binder. Then we mailed it. 1 copy to Jason's job, attention to his manager. 1 copy to Lisa's parents, who were old school, religious, and thought she was an angel. 1 more went to HR at our office. She might have been on leave, but they still needed to know what kind of person they were dealing with. Especially since some of her lies involved calling out for fake family emergencies. But that wasn't the part that finished them. I heard through Dana that Jason had gotten a new job interview. One of those roles in a nonprofit where your reputation matters. We forwarded the video and timeline there too. They never called him back. Lisa didn't get fired. But she came back to work with her head down, and everyone looked at her differently. Nobody invited her to lunch anymore. Her clients started asking for someone else. And the last piece? Tom moved forward with a divorce. Fast. No drawn-out court battle. Just clean and cold. She tried to slow it down. Claimed she was overwhelmed, needed time, but Tom wasn't playing her game anymore. The paternity test crushed any sympathy. As for Jason, well, he tried to reach out again. This time, he came to my building. I didn't open the door. I watched from the window. He stood there holding flowers like it was all a misunderstanding. I let him knock, then ring the bell, then knock again. Then I opened the blinds, just enough for him to see me. I didn't say a word. I held up the camera remote in my hand. Just stared. He turned and walked away. The last I heard, Lisa moved in with Jason, just like Tom said she would. But the perfect life they thought they'd have? It didn't last. Jason lost his job. Lisa was too far along to hide the pregnancy and too ashamed to tell people the truth. And they were stuck with each other, two liars playing house in a cheap apartment with peeling paint and no friends left. Sometimes karma doesn't scream. Sometimes it whispers. I never got an apology. And I didn't need one. Because the thing about betrayal is, it doesn't need closure. It just needs truth. And I gave it to them in full color. Now? I'm doing better. Stronger. Smarter. And every time I see a wine glass I didn't buy, I smile. Because that will never happen again.